nervous, but I'm really, really nervous. Psalm 91:15. When they call to me, I will answer them. And when they're in trouble, I will be with them. I will rescue them and honor them. 1 out of 4 women have been through some sort of abuse during their lifetime. I am one of those women. My testimony is one of God's grace, of mistakes made, and yet He loved me enough to bring me out of a horrific situation. I spent 5 years in Arizona with an incredibly abusive man. Looking back, it seems unreal. It's hard to believe that everything I went through really happened. When I moved to Arizona, I thought it was for a better life. Yet as time went by, I could see that not only was he not what he portrayed himself to be, he was also abusive. He abused me first mentally and then physically. As time went by, the abuse became worse, and of many things I've had, broken ribs, concussions, and nerve damage in my face that gives me my crooked smile. Yet almost worse was the mental and verbal abuse, the threats that kept me always on edge waiting. I was kept from making friends, from contacting family, from having much contact at all with the outside world. His reasons always seemed understandable at the time. He could pretty much convince me of anything. The police were called to our apartment several times before the final incident, always called by neighbors who heard the abuse. Each time I would lie and tell them nothing happened. Maybe I'd fallen in the shower or had some other accident. They would leave, and his paranoia would have him convinced that I did something that brought them there in the first place. His paranoia was also responsible for our barring doors, blacking out windows, sleeping with guns next to the bed, making me believe the police were out to get us. During times of drinking, the abuse was worse. Each time would be scarier. This continued, and as things got worse, I knew down in my heart that if I stayed with him, I was going to die. And yet I stayed. This went on until August 5th, 2010, a day that completely changed my life. He had been drinking heavily all day, and as expected, in time the abuse began, and he swore he was going to kill me, throw me around the apartment by my hair. I'll spare the details, only to say that it was worse than any other time, and I knew that his threats were real. That night ended with my non-fatally shooting him 5 times and ended up in jail. I found myself at Estrella, a Maricopa County jail, in a dorm room of 128 women, scared, hopeless, and looking for a way to kill myself. I was originally facing 7 to 21 years in Arizona State Prison, yet God's hand was on me throughout, opening doors that needed open, closing doors that would cause me harm. Then God saw fit to send me an angel by the name of Helena. God had temporarily brought her into an Arizona jail from an Illinois one, just for me. Being moved to another bed was unusual, and the guards seldom did it. My bed was 107 at the back of the room until Helena came, and then God had the guards move me to bed 39 right next to her. Helena was a strong Christian who helped lead me to God and showed how much He loved me. She encouraged me to read my Bible daily and directed me to verses to read for comfort and encouragement. She taught me to pray to my daddy, which she called God. And she showed me how much God blessed me through all this, how God saved me through all this. And she shared her amazing testimony with me. She taught me to fast, which we did both for specific requests and as thanks for his blessings. She was a blessing from God, brought to me to help me through my time there. God blessed me in many ways, including giving me a wonderful public defender and mitigation specialist, and a judge who was sympathetic to domestic violence cases. In the end, I only had to do 8.5 months in county jail. Through it all, he was with me and allowed me to share numerous times with other inmates what God had done in my life. On April 14th, 2011, I was released, and my brothers brought me back to Ohio. Starting over at 50 years old is really hard, and yet God continued to open doors. While in jail, Helena had told me to begin praying for a Christian husband, one who would take care of me and not hurt me. I had written in my Bible that prayer and continued to pray it when I was free. So as in a final amazing blessing and answer to those prayers, God brought John into my life, a loving, funny Christian husband who has loved me in spite of my issues and scars. He still has to deal sometimes with the trust issues and other baggage I carry. I thank God he's such a patient man. I conclude with this thought. Though I went through so much and still have a lot I deal with, I strongly believe that God is good. He allowed me to go through all this because he knew the very things it would take to bring me back to him. It was a time of awakening in my life where I saw how far that he would go to open my eyes and save me. And I had one little thing here that I had written for my friends in jail. And I'm not the writer in the family, but it's mine. Some people may ask, where is God in this? Where is God in this ache? Where is God in heartbreak? Where is God in this? Some people may say, where is God in this pain? Where is God in my rain? Where is God in this? But I know, Lord, you are there, holding me through every care, taking hearts we think will never mend. And I know, Lord, you see me, shelter me in every need, holding me closer than a friend. Now I know that I see God in this pain. I see God through hard rain. He is there for me. And I know that God is there through each ache, and God can care for heartbreak. He'll take care of me. Some people may ask, where is God in this place? Where is God in his grace? Where is God in this? Some people may say, how can God see us here? How can God see our tears? How is God in this? But I know, Lord, you are there, holding me through every care, taking hearts we think will never mend. And I know, Lord, you see me, you shelter me in every need, holding me closer than a friend. Now I know that God sees me in this place, and God is here in his grace. God is here in this. And I know that God is next to me here. God can wipe away my tears. He's taking care of this.
Is it any wonder it's all over this woman?